What's up, everyone? On today's episode, I give you not one, not two, but three reasons I told you and what Miami had to do in order to pull off the Game 2 upset and whether they can continue to do it going forward. And the third reason they were able to do it, Denver fans and Jokic fans, you're probably not going to want to hear it, but it's absolutely true. I will also once again remind you why Miami is one of the best underdogs on the planet, so don't be a chicken, wink, wink, wink. That'll be explained at the end if you watch it, so do it. Hey, what's up, everyone? It's another episode of Tricky Guy Sports. It's your host, Brent Bilski, a.k.a. Double B, and the Miami Heat have even the series. 111-108, they got it done in the Mile High, baby, and ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I am loving it. We got ourselves an NBA Finals, maybe.
Butler with 8 to shoot. Butler outside Martin, back up top Butler. Butler, a three-pointer, off the side of the rim, Brown the rebound. Could the Heat foul here?
I'm taking a foul, not allowing them to get off a three.
Denver does have a timeout, but they're not using it. 4 seconds, Murray, step back, three-pointer, won't go, fight for the rebound.
No!
And it's over. The Miami Heat have tied the NBA Finals. What a...
Denver blows home court. And we have a series. All right, so the first thing I don't want to do, I really don't even want to get into the stupidity of the blame the kicker about the last shot. I will replay real quick. We are going to spend less than 3 minutes on this because I got more important and more relevant things to discuss on why Miami won and Denver lost. Had nothing to do with this last few seconds.
To get off a three.
Denver does have a timeout, but they're not using it. 4 seconds, Murray, step back, three-pointer, won't go, fight for the rebound, Martin, and it's over.
And it's over, but Denver had a timeout, and Denver didn't use it. Denver should have used the timeout. Oh, my God, they didn't use the timeout. Stop it. We're not even going to start with that today. I don't want to hear it. I call it blaming the kicker. We are not. You are better than that. You are going to be a better sports fan than that. You are not going to give me the blame the kicker nonsense, which is what I call at the end of like the football game when a quarterback has 3 interceptions, the running back has fumbled twice, the defense gave up 37 points, but the field goal kicker misses a 55-yarder at the end, and everyone goes, oh my God, it's all the kicker's fault. It was the last play of the game. Do not be a prisoner of the moment. I hate that. That's the worst sports talk take in all the takes, short of Kendrick Perkins every time he opens his mouth.
That's dopey talk. That's dopey dum-dum talk.
I don't even want to spend more than 30 more seconds on this. Do not do it. Do not blame the kicker. Do not be a prisoner of the moment. That was not a bad shot. That was not Denver's problem. Denver's problem was not that Jamal Murray, even though, yes, the pick and roll isolated and it switched Jimmy Butler onto him, that's a decent shot. As the announcers also pointed out, too, the Miami Heat probably and most likely should have and could have fouled at that point in order to make it 2 free throws instead of 3 and play the free throw game with guys like Robinson and others that could make free throws. Jimmy Butler, very clutch in free throw situations. So the idea that calling a timeout was going to make them get some miracle wide open 3 that was going to be any better than that one is just complete hindsight 2020 nonsense, being able to try to recreate history. The problem with regret, and you'll find this out, the problem with regret and doing the blame the kicker and being like, oh, well, if we would have done this, and oh, if we would have done that, and oh, if we would have had wheels, I'd be a wagon. The issue with all of that is you get into the supernatural, you never consider what could have gone worse. You know what I mean? Like, I hear about this one a lot, and I'm just going to delve off for 20 seconds onto this point, because I heard this a lot of people in places I was at of like, man, if I had the last 5 years over, I could have done this. If I would have taken that job, if I wouldn't have got fired, if I would have asked that girl to marry me. You have no idea if that job would have led to you, going completely insane. You have no idea if asking that girl to marry you would have led to you having the worst divorce settlement of all time. And, do you understand what I'm saying? The problem with regret is that you always look in the past and go, oh, well, if we would have redone it, it would have gone positively. There's also just as much a 50-50 chance it would have gone worse. For every time you think about something of like, oh, it should have gone this way, it should have gone that way, try to consider also that it could have gone the wrong way. I'm just saying. So this whole like Jamal Murray, should have called. They should have called Coach Malone, call timeout, do all this other stuff. Watch it one more time. That's a decent shot. I mean, there's a lot of times Jamal Murray makes this shot.
I'm not allowing them to get off a three.
Denver does have a timeout, but they're not using it. 4 seconds. Murray, step back, three-pointer. Won't go. Fight for the rebound, Martin, and it's over. The Miami Heat have tied the NBA Finals.
Yeah. It's a tied finals, and that's crazy because Denver really should have won this game, and they should win every other game going forward. I still have Denver winning the whole thing, but I love that Miami's doing it. I am very, very happy for them. And other than that, the rest of that, though, boy, everyone spent so much time watching the reviews. What about that last? They should have called time. They should have done this. They should have done that. You could have called timeout, and, God forbid, I'm just saying there is in the alternate universe timelines that maybe Jamal Murray or someone else tries a whole nother play, sprains his knee, and he's out for the entire finals. So we're not doing it. That's annoying. That's stupid. I hate it. I really do hate the blame the kicker nonsense. We are not going to blame the kicker today. No.
I hate.
We're going to move on to more important, relevant things. We're going to bring more into stuff I said. And once again, prove to the world that I am very good at this.
Man, I'm tired of being right.
Sorry, I'm going to have to, because the last podcast, in case you missed it, as I still and have Denver winning this entire series, I did give you a few reasons on how, and I even have the segment up on my YouTube channel, go Tricky Guy Sports, and search it and look on how Miami could win Game 2. I gave you a few different things that I thought could possibly keep Miami in this series, and turns out I was right, because I'm good.
I am the smartest man alive!
So I don't have one called shot. I don't have two called shot. I have 3 called shots, which will explain just how Miami got this done, what maybe they could do to continue to get this going forward and possibly pull off one of the biggest finals upsets, because you do understand this will be one of the biggest finals upsets if Miami, as the 8th seed, and Denver being just a far superior overall team. If Miami can get this done, it'll be one of the biggest upsets. And as I told you in the previous podcast, and not this one, not this 2, but all 3 of these called shots, this is how they could get it done, and this is how they did get it done. So without further ado, let's go.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
He's calling his shot.
For some reason I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew today, but I'm feeling good, baby, because I tried to tell you. So how could Miami get it done? First thing I told you was this, and it was exactly right. Had to get a little nasty with it. What will it take for the Miami Heat to make this a series against Denver? Because flat out, I'm telling you right now, you will not win this in a straight-up basketball game. You are too short. You are too depleted. Maybe if Tyler Herro comes back, you have an opportunity to, try to win through normal basketball means. But the fact is, it ain't going to work, most likely. Fact is, he's probably not coming back. Fact is, you just don't have the skill set. You're going to have to get mean. You're going to have to get nasty. It's the only way. There's no other way for Miami to make this a series. I watched both teams. I've watched that Game 1. It's just clear that they don't have the weapons. They don't have the firepower. You're going to have to get old school. You're going to have to get nasty. You're going to have to bring out the dog, man. That's really it. You're going to have to start hitting them. You're going to have to make these games ugly. You're going to have to slow these things down. You're going to have to definitely get to the free throw line more than 2 attempts and set an all-time record for lack of aggression going to the paint. Yeah, and so that was the first one, and like I said, I nailed it. If you watched especially that second half and that fourth quarter when Denver did go on that extreme run, what did they outscore them in the fourth quarter there? 36-25, and made that final push, and were able to come back, as Miami does a lot. But they just had to remember who they are. They're not supposed to be here. Jimmy Butler and his island of misfit toys were not supposed to be here. So they had to get much more physical. In Game 1, it was a joke. I was like, you guys are not actually trying to just outshoot and out skill set the Denver Nuggets, are you? In their home court where it's the mile high and it's all the feels like you're smoking blunts in the middle of the second quarter.
I love weed, okay? I love it.
And I don't think this was emphasized enough, so I had to bring in, again, some of my own film, editing here. But go ahead and watch, and you can just see it. You could see the difference as they got physical. They didn't get bad boy physical, which is, if you watch the whole thing later, I did say, like, they needed to get more, like, bad boy ugly, but they did hit them. They were more aggressive, especially in that second half. Jokic got very frustrated. There was a point where he got 2 fouls immediately, offensive foul. Then he slapped Bam Adebayo in the face just out of pure frustration. Even Van Gundy, who can barely notice an elephant on fire in front of him, was able to go like, wow, they're being more physical. Jokic looks frustrated. I can't believe it, whatever. But if you look at it, yeah, this is what they did. They got nasty. They got a little uglier here. I mean, you can just watch some of this and see what I'm talking about.
What will it take for the...
That's the called shot again. I need the actual film here, Brent. Need an editor. All right, here we go. Miami getting physical. Look at this. I mean, bumping them, hitting them, getting turnovers. Jokic comes down here, double team, getting his grill, hit him in the face. You can see his frustration on his face. This was a great possession. I'm going to pause it right here because this was a fantastic possession of just what I was talking about. And watch specifically because they're running the zone, which is something Miami does very well and does more than anyone else in the league. But watch even like little Kyle Lowry here on Jokic, because this is what I was trying to say. Like, you can't let Jokic get comfortable. I saw too many times in game one where he would get in the paint and just get hook shot here, baby hook there, pump fake pass, kick out. Jokic scored 40-something points, but was not nearly the distributor or the X factor that he was in the first game, and especially the first half of the first game with 10 assists, and just continued to be a problem. He still scored 40-something points, and I don't know how much I buy into because the Nuggets are 0-3 now that Nikola Jokic has scored. Every time Nikola Jokic has scored 40 or more points, that Denver is 0-3, therefore it's not good when Jokic scores 40 points. I mean, maybe.
What does that do? Does that blow your mind?
It's an odd coincidence, but I don't think it's bad that your best player scores a lot. I think he could score 40 and distribute, and I think that's good for Denver overall to have your best player playing well. But rewatch this part. Like I said, this possession was nice as far as just bringing out the dog, getting a little ugly. Even the little guys are now deciding to bump Nikola Jokic a little bit. Watch here. Watch Kyle. And I think they switch off to Vincent. Now watch Vincent. Vincent's going to be all over Jokic here. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. And look at the on-ball defense, but look at him scrapping. Look at him scrapping with Jokic there. Double teaming led to a bad shot. That's exactly what I was trying to talk about. And then next up here, Lowry, after the Robinson free throw. This was another great possession. Gets the ball back for him. Fights for the offensive rebound. Gets a foul, which then led to Duncan Robinson coming around the corner. And hits the big three right there, and then after that, they were able to continue to roll. Duncan Robinson was another big part of this, as once again, they'll want to point out that even Lowry after the game did say, the physicality was different today, and that's good because that's exactly what you needed, and it's what you're going to continue to need to do to try to get this actual upset done.
I think the Nuggets in game one was so much more physical. They were really ready to play. I think we didn't come out with the physicality. Tonight, we came out with the physicality to start the game as starters. Second unit, we didn't play too well, but they got us back into the game in the second quarter, but we found a way to win the game.
I was going to ask you if you heard the phrase, play with more force.
Yeah, they played with more force. They got uglier. They got nastier. They decided to say, you know what, we aren't supposed to be here anyways. We're really not going to be able to just, Euro style, just kind of play. Well, actually, Euros are rough, but the stereotype of what you think is a normal kind of, we'll just kind of go back and forth, a la the Boston Celtics did this too much, in my opinion. We'll just rely on our skill sets and stuff. You can't beat them in that direction. What you did and what you needed to do was right here, and it was much better, as I'll show it all one more time in just a full, package. But look at him. He's getting mad. He's getting hit. It frustrates him. He turns the ball over. Again, Jokic here. Hit him in the face on the block. Perfect. And this possession, again, I loved it. Vincent's pressuring all the way up on Jamal Murray. Then you're going to see them go into the zone. He gets Jokic on him. He does not care that he's the littlest guy in the room. He's going to get in his you-know-what. Jokic is pissed. Can't get, so he just gives up. He goes all the way to the top of the key and gives up. Leads to a bad shot and eventually a turnover there. After the free throw, instead of just giving up on the free throw, Kyle Lowry fights through two big guys here, Green and Gordon. which again leads to another possession, which then leads to Duncan Robinson coming around here and hits a big shot. It cuts off right there, but that does go in. And that go ahead and leads me to my second called shot, because as I said, they had to get nasty, and as I proved through video evidence, they did. Second thing I wanted them to do was this. So hit them with one way and then go in this direction, and it's exactly what Miami was able to do in order to get this done. So second called shot. And then the only other thing that you can do alongside with this is you're going to have to, when Jokic gets his rare times on the bench, after you've worn them down, after you beat them up, then you bring in your shooters. Then you bring in lineups. I would bring in lineups like Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin. I'd bring in Kevin Love more and use him a lot, because you could use his physicality and his extra 6 fouls. That Highsmith kid, if Tyler Harrow can come back, he is testing that right hand, and you're going to have to go from ugly to about 4 or 5 minute waves of when Jokic is on the bench, go small and see if you can get hot from threes. You combine those two things, you have an opportunity. If you try to play this straight up, you will lose. You will lose. And all right, so what did I say there? I said that they should play Kevin Love, and they started him, and that actually worked out very well for them.
Man, I'm tired of being right.
They needed to get physical, and they absolutely did, as we showed in the previous video. And then hit them with waves of shooting and bring in, your shooters and get into, especially when Jokic is out, and try to concentrate on that and get moments and just, kind of blitz them. You're going to have to, you can't rely on being just consistently better. You're going to have to hit high waves, then grind it out. High waves, grind it out. And in case I don't remember, was it exactly that happened at the start of the fourth quarter when Duncan Robinson had 10 points in like 2 minutes and Miami hit 17 of 35 threes for 49% and hit 5 of 9 in the fourth quarter and basically did,
Real man of genius.
I'm not saying I could be a coach because that's going to be a little too dramatic, but I will say that was the next step that I did want to see, besides bringing in Love, which, that shouldn't have taken a lot. Eric Spoelstra, I don't know why you had the only guy with finals experience besides Butler on your team, and maybe Bam is the bubble count? That doesn't count. Kevin Love has real finals experience, and especially on the road, and why he wasn't actually out there to begin with and was being DNP'd for certain games. But he was able to get right the actual let's play the shooters more. And I still think he should play Duncan Robinson more if I'm being 100%. But he did play Duncan Robinson, and they did get a spurt from him exactly when they needed it.
Oh, good for you.
And they were able to, as I said, after they grinded out some of the third quarter and the start of the fourth, then they were able to hit a wave because Duncan got hot and was able to do his thing.
This has to be our best quarter defensively. Simply stated, we can't give up open threes, and what's been plaguing us all nightly.
Sitting on the sideline. Duncan Robinson drives and finishes. We've been watching Kyle Lowry do that for 17 years. Robinson fires and hits a three-pointer. Duncan Robinson 3 for 3. Miami's overcome a 15-point deficit. Duncan Robinson drives and finishes. Another tough shot. 10 straight points by the Heat.
Next thing you know, Denver gets nervous, and as you noticed, 3 of those 4 baskets, a certain Serbian was on the bench. So, they really did. Spoelstra knows what he's doing. As much as I was joking like I could be a coach, Eric Spoelstra, give him his credit. He really is a very good coach. He does adjust more than some of the coaches that I've had to watch, a la Steve Kerr, that flippin' ding-dong, with his stubbornness. Kerr has his moments, but he's stubborn. And Spoelstra looked at everything that happened after Game 1, and I think saw maybe even, arguably more, of course, because who am I to try to act like, I know as much as Spoelstra. But I'm being serious as far as I think he looked at it and said, A, we weren't physical enough. You heard Kyle Lowry say that afterwards. Physicality had to kick things up. We are going to have to try to blitz them a little bit more when Jokic is out specifically. And as you notice, they have Vincent, they have Robinson, they have Lowry out there, spread them out with shooters. We should probably bring in Kevin Love, who can do a lot for us and in limited minutes be very useful and very helpful with his shooting, veteran experience. So all of that together, but the Duncan Robinson 10 points at the start of the fourth quarter was so crucial to changing the momentum of everything that happens out there. And I'm telling you guys, value the shooters, man. This is something that frustrates me to no end in the NBA, is the lack of both the fan base and sometimes even coaching's ability to value your shooters, man. It pisses me off as a former shooter.
Frustrating.
It is.
Frustrating. It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
I mean, the fact is, I watch guys like Patrick Beverley, Draymond Green, and others get praised for all the value they bring to a basketball court because of all their defensive abilities and their hustle and everything else. And you know what? Granted, all that is exactly right. I'm not arguing any of that. But they are one-dimensional. They are one-sided. And I still think that it's become this very easy take in the NBA as a fan base and as coaches to cling to the idea that, well, of course, because defense is important and defense wins championships, that it's okay to have guys who are solely defensive, minded type guys. Draymond has his offensive moments, but Beverly, even like Ben Simmons, but you get what I'm talking about as far as like there have been a lot of Rodman who did win a lot, so I'm not going to argue there. But the overall consensus that happens and that these idea that these one-dimensional players who can only value one side of the ball most of the time are only valuable if they are defensive stars, but they can be offensive liabilities. In the end, you have to put the orange ball into the orange little round rim there. You have to put the ball in the basket more than the other team does. Shooters bring so much value, just as much as a strong defensive player brings so much value that the other four guys can make up for. So the idea that a Duncan Robinson, because he's not first team All-NBA, is not helpful to you is extremely stupid. And it's a extremely basic, short-sighted take to me. As you can watch those clips one more time, especially with Jokic out, the ability to open up the lanes for the pick and rolls for other guys to get to the hole. Just look at the spread out that happens when you have shooters like this, and when a guy like Duncan is becoming such a big threat. It screws up a lot of things you want to do defensively because you have to cling to someone like him who is so just ability Klay Thompson-esque to get hot. Watch it one more time here and look at how the defense just kind of jumps around and struggles a little bit because shooters, even though they may not be your best on defense, help on this side of the ball the same way they do on that side of the ball, where they create so much more dynamics and so much more frustration for the other team trying to execute that they have just as much value. And I know it's the harder take to understand because the old cliche, defense win championships, is the only thing we ever want to talk about. But the fact is, as much value as a only defensive player brings to that side of the ball, a shooter brings just as much to the other side of the ball, as it was proven here in this start of this fourth quarter. This was basically the momentum swinging part of the game that they needed, and it wasn't because they were getting stops every other second. It's because they were able to get hot from threes and have one of their best shooters get rolling.
This has to be our best quarter defensively.
Look at them running around here, jumping, diving. It messes up your defense. When you have someone this much of a threat,
and finishes. We've been watching Kyle Lowry do that for 17
look how
years.
everyone has to focus. Even when you're in his face, if he's hot,
fires.
bang, bang.
It's a three-pointer. Duncan Robinson, 3 for 3. Miami's overcome a 15.
You got to overplay the screen. He can get to the hole.
And finishes. Another tough shot. 10 straight points by the Heat.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly, what someone like him can do. How he had been DNP'd and, taken out of the rotation, as I've watched other shooters get taken out of rotations in NBA basketball, is just, I don't get it. I don't know why exactly you think it's a good idea.
I ain't got a good brain.
And somehow, hopefully, this can highlight once again Golden State winning all the titles they win, and other teams, really starting to remember and value the importance of your shooting just as much as you would some of your defensive guys there. How you don't see the value in that, or how you think ever as a coach he should be not in the game. I think they should play Duncan a little bit more, to be honest, especially if Strus isn't going. I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
So far, I'm 2 for 2 here. I went out and said in the previous podcast in this Called Shots, I said first time, I said, A, you need to get more physical. They absolutely did. B, After that, and when Jokic gets on the bench, you're going to have to come out with your shooters, bring out Lowry, bring out Robinson, bring out Vincent, put them all together. And then when Jokic is out, try to hit them in waves and just try to get hot from threes. They absolutely did that in the fourth quarter. They were 5 for 9. Duncan has 10 points almost in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Matter of fact, he did have all 10 points in a row, which changed the momentum. And there was one more thing. And I'm going to go to audio here, and I'm going to end up showing you a little video to call it. But the fact is, this is the most uncomfortable take of the three, but you're just going to have to listen to me here. Why Denver Nuggets struggle in the fourth quarter a little bit. It's not the nicest thing to say, and some people might get a little triggered being 2023. But there was another thing I noticed, and I had to bring it up, as to how and why these last fourth quarters, maybe even though Denver won game one and they, had a horrible fourth quarter in game two, why the Denver Nuggets, as I've seen them continue to struggle in the fourth quarter, kind of comes down to this. And whether you want to hear it or not, and there's a reason I'm bringing it up, it's important to discuss. Jokic is, it's a little chunky. He's a little bit of a big boy, and eventually you can wear him down. So here we go. As I got my last called shot, Jokic is a little fat.
The other thing with Jokic, he slows down. You can also, besides beat him up and piss him off, if you can keep them around the fourth quarter, I've seen this happen a few times to Denver, especially Jokic. I don't care what anyone says. He's a little out of shape. He's not in the condition of the LeBrons and Stephs of the world.
Cry me a river, you fat baby. You disgust me.
I mean, the fact is, Miami did open that fourth quarter, even though it was pretty much out of reach on an 11-0 run. They were able to hit some shots at the end, but they were just too far behind in order to catch Denver. Jokic I'm noticing because, like I said, he's pudgy, man. He's pudgy around the middle. NBA bodies, if they dedicate themselves to diet, weightlifting, and exercise, do not look like Nikola Jokic. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say.
Lose weight. Oh, I'm a hot case, he says. Well, listen up, City Jim. I ate a baby.
Yeah, Jokic does not eat one baby. He eats 3 babies. He also eats some White Castle. He is not taking care of his body, and he's getting away with it because of his skills and because of his size. But I've seen this in other series and other games where in the end of the game, if he can't do like the little fadeaways and stuff, he's sweaty as hell. He looks out of breath. You're going to have to ugly it up, keep it close, and then try to blitz him at the end, which Miami can do, which they're capable of doing. But the fact is, you're going to have to try to just ugly wear, bring down, tire out the kind of fat superstar, and hope for the best that you can get hot at the end and possibly pull this miracle off, because there's no other way to do it.
And in the last 2 fourth quarters, what has happened? Denver was able to hold on in game one because they jumped out to such a big lead. But the fact is, in the fourth quarter, Miami shot 60%, and they went 6 of 12 from three-point land and almost pulled out the comeback. In game two, with Miami up, after they did the bring in the shooters at the early lineup with Jokic out and blitzed them with Duncan Robinson, because of blown defensive assignments, Malone was bitching up and down about, they were fouling jump shooters and their overall lack of discipline. They outscore the Nuggets 36-25. Miami shot 11 of 16 from the fourth quarter and went 5 of 9 for threes, because one more time, their main guy and the focus is a little bit big around the waist.
Cry me a river, you fat baby. You disgust me.
I'm sorry. This is someone who I am not, Mr. Universe. I am not Arnold. I am not in the perfect shape. I try to pump. I try to do. But look, versus the world and versus the NBA. And that's where a lot of you that might get all, he's not fat, look at you, or look at this, or what about, no, he's an MVP. You know what? All that's great. I can tell the difference. And if you watch enough basketball, because NBA jerseys are one of the most unflattering things to wear on the planet, next to like a male gymnast's singlet or a wrestler's singlet. I mean, you can just tell the difference between a Steph Curry, a LeBron James, people who, really focus on their conditioning, versus a Luka Doncic, versus a Nikola Jokic, versus Big Baby Davis versus, there's certain guys you could tell Boogie Cousins would bring out extra weight. There were certain guys you can tell do not dedicate their diet, do not dedicate themselves to the weight room, and really like to just, play basketball, which is good cardio. So they're going to be overall, compared to the average Joe, look and be in better physical shape than them. But if you look at the truly in shape NBA athlete, the top 0.0001% of the entire planet, they are just in a body fat level and leanness and just conditioning factor that is hard to fathom. Rip Hamilton. Does anyone remember Richard Hamilton from the Detroit Pistons? Very good player and was considered a good athlete, but just a well-conditioned athlete. To warm up, and something he constantly did was run 5 miles at 25 minutes at a 5-minute per mile pace for 5 miles straight. That was nothing to him.
What does that do? Does that blow your mind?
So I'm just saying, NBA conditioning is different than this. Is different than this is some kid pictures here, and I get it, but this is, he naturally has, a little bit of pudge around him. And I can tell that he doesn't focus on his diet, that he doesn't come from a family that focuses on their diet, that he really likes to play basketball, but he clearly doesn't dedicate himself to the weight room. And he's able to get away with a lot because he's so big, because he's so skilled, as I pointed out before. But in the NBA Finals, when it's the fourth quarter and they're really starting to lean on you, there's a different level of conditioning that you need to be at in order to consistently be able to finish off games. So don't get mad at me when I bring up the stats after I just noticed the fact that, again, he's a little bit big.
Cry me a river, you fat baby. You disgust me.
And I tell you, man, you could probably wear him down, and I've seen them get worn down, and you go like, nuh-uh, you're just being mean. You hate big people, and you don't understand body types, and there's genetics, and I'm going to take in my own personal trauma and throw it at you and do all this other nonsense. The fact is, in the fourth quarters in the last 2 games, Miami scored 6 of 12 from threes in the fourth quarter and shot 60% in game 1, almost came back. And in game 2, they did come back. They did pull it off, where they shot 11 of 16 in the fourth quarter and 5 of 9 from threes. You can kill the messenger all you want, but do not say that the message is wrong. I am right to the point of boredom, and I tried to tell you, and you didn't listen.
See, I done told you.
And after all this, do I really think the Miami Heat will get it all done? No, I still don't. I mean, I hate to be a jerk here, and I hate to say that it was anything more than I think Denver got a little cocky, a little sloppy, and they are still the much better team. And as much as I love the Miami Heat, I still don't see them winning 3 of the next 5. They at least found the blueprint, and they obviously saw some of the same things that I did and said, all right, we're going to hit these dudes in the mouth. We're going to take advantage of when Jokic is out. We're going to try to, get our shooters going here and catch them in waves and hopefully stay close enough to where in the fourth, Pudgy boy here might wear down a little bit. His offense and defense is just not as significant and strong. His effort is just, you can just see it. It's just not as good as it is in the first halves of a lot of these games. Let's try to stay close, get hot from certain moments, wear him down, and then hopefully Fat Boy gets a little out of breath and we're able to blitz him and we're able to pull it off. Can they do that 3 out of 5 more times? I don't think so. I really don't. But I'm going for it. I love the Miami Heat. I think, just because I picked Denver, don't think that I don't want the Miami. I would love to be completely wrong about this. I would love to say Miami Heat pull off one of the greatest upsets I've ever seen, win this thing in like 6, and I get to be dead wrong.
The price is wrong, bitch.
I love me Jimmy Butler. I will continue to rant and rave and be a little too much on I love him, I love this, I love Jimmy Butler. I think he's the greatest, not named Steph Curry as far as attitude, leadership. I don't want to get too creepy with it.
I want some fun.
But I really just, every time I hear this dude talk, I'm like, I want that guy to win. I want him to win. He gets it. He gets the big picture in life. Found another time, he was on some podcast talking why he does this. I just can't get enough of listening to him explain to you just how life works, how you should take basketball, how you should understand things, how you can be cocky and humble at the same time, how to be a leader. Every time Jimmy talks, I am listening. I want this dude to run for office or something and be a leader of this country at some point, because the dude just has just a good thing in between his ears here. Listen to Jimmy talking just about why he does this. Love this guy.
I never worked on my game as much whenever I was in college, in junior college or in high school, because I was like, man, I ain't finna be a pro. Like, I'm from Tomball. I'm a McDonald's All-American. I had to go to JUCO. I doubted myself. That's why it's funny whenever you hear people say, oh, I knew Jimmy was gonna be that. Stop. I didn't even know that I would be here today. Why people ask, like, why you keep doing what you're doing? I'm not going back to the life that I used to live. My competitive edge that comes from the fact that nothing was given to me, man. Nothing. I had to go to junior college. I had nowhere else to go. And then when I got to Marquette, they was like, yo, this ain't gonna make it. So I'm gonna show you. I wasn't that good, so I know what the work can get you. I haven't won on any level. I can't say that I'm a winner. I don't want my career to end like that. Can you say that I'm a loser? No. I'm somewhere in there. Give me like a championship ring. I don't do it for the fame. I don't do it for the money. I don't do it for nothing. The only reason that I do it is so when I go up against the guys that you could call out, they're gonna be like, I'm gonna go.
I mean, I'm not a winner yet. Give me a ring. You know, I've been through too much. I had to go to JUCO. I had to go to Marquette. Kicked out of his house at 13 years old. 13. I just can't stress enough how hard that's got to be. Your own mother tells you to get out of the house at 13 years old. Then he goes to JUCO. Then he has to go to Marquette. He had to work every time he got there. Got to Chicago Bulls. Even that wasn't like he was a star. He had to come off the end of the bench. Then he had to become a good scorer. Then he had to move from multiple teams. Then he had to go through ups and downs. And he had to lose one finals in the NBA bubble, get dissed for that, spend another year in kind of, you know, and then have to go through Boston and miss the 3 at Game 7, and everyone blamed the kicker. He took the last shot, and it was a bad shot. Doesn't matter what he did before. Fight all the way back from an 8 seed to get here, and he's still telling you, I'm not a winner yet. I still got to do things here, and I appreciate every moment. And by the way, everyone behind me, half these dudes haven't been drafted. Yes, we're the first 8 seed in the finals in the last, 40-something seasons, actually ever. There's only been one other 8 seed. That was a shortened season. They're the only 8 seed ever in an 82 full game season to even be here in the first place. They had to upset the Bucks. They had to upset the Boston Celtics. They get here. They lost game 1 in Denver. They still have enough fight to pull out game 2. I mean, don't think I'm not going for this. I like this a lot. I want this to do well. I don't think it's going to happen. I think game 2, they at least did what they had to do to pull one out. But the fact is that 17 of 35 threes, that's 49%. That's probably not going to keep up. The fact is they can't consistently say we're going to shoot 50% from 3, and the 17 threes that they hit were a playoff all-time high. I don't think you can rely 3 out of the 5 next games to say we're going to be able to shoot at that level, and Denver is not going to respond to the physicality, that Denver's not going to respond to some of these shooter lineups, that Malone's not paying attention to what he's doing, and that they're just going to sit there and lie down like dogs. Denver did not get to where they got, and they don't have what they have because they're just a bunch of little bitches who have nothing to do and no way to respond. I think Miami did what they had to do, but I don't think they can do this 3 out of 5 more times. And I will continue to stick to that until I'm proven wrong. But until then, I would love to see this dude win. Would absolutely love it. I love Jimmy Butler in a way that's probably not completely healthy, but hey, leave me alone.
I want some butt!
Good dude, smart guy, been through a lot, great leader. I love his roster behind him, the Vincents, the Robinsons, all the other stuff. I love the Cinderella story. I love Seabiscuits. I love, any underdog movie. I cry like a 2-year-old that skinned her knee every time there's some underdog movie that's based on a true story. And at the end, they have the big moment and they have the ooh-ah. I would love to see a real-life version of that, and I'll be just at home by myself. Crying my little baby eyes out because that's just what I do. I'm a crybaby. I don't care what you say.
You crying, boy?
Yeah, I'm a crier.
Yeah. Go back down to McDonald's and get you a Lamburger and some French fries. How about a Weineken? You little sissy boy! That leopard sucks!
I watch America's Got Talent, and if someone gets the golden ticket, I'm done.
Crying all the time. Quit crying, just a push-up or something.
So they did what they had to do. They did what I said. So not only did they do a good job, they also once again proved I know the sport.
Man, I'm tired of being right.
And that's all I got for basketball today as far as review goes. I think it's time for us to have some fun, watch some videos.
You seen it? You seen it?
Don't look at me. Don't look at me, little puppet.
Have you seen this? Have you read about this?
I think I've reinforced my rightness and intelligence enough for one day, and also how much I want the Miami Heat and what they could do in order to pull this off. So let's go ahead and have some fun at the end of the show, as we always do, with some videos. Again, this is perfect to go to the YouTube channel, Tricky Guy Sports, because you really got to see what I'm about to bring you here. Always a fun way to finish things off, cleanse the palate, and have as much fun as we can in public without getting arrested. First thing, what do I want to start with today? Let's do baseball stuff. Let's do some baseball stuff here.
Baseball stuff!
I don't know if y'all know this. I'm from Corpus Christi, Tejas, and that is home of the minor league team, the Corpus Christi Hooks. The Corpus Christi Hooks are the first AA feeder team into the Houston Astros and the World Series champions from last year, Houston Astros.
Oh, good for you.
Say what you want. There was no banging drums. There was no, shenanigans here. They were able to win that series fair and square and kind of vindicate a lot of the hatred and things that happened from the last time when they did, and there was no arguing. Astros fans, you cannot argue for one damn second you didn't cheat. Don't. I mean, they might as well have been doing a drum circle in those dugouts with those trash cans. Dun, dun, curveball, fastball, one, dun. I mean, come on, man. You could hear the bong, bong, bong. It was like my dorm room, hopefully at 2 a.m. when I was in college, if you know what I mean. I don't know why I had to go gross there, but I did. But point being, I've been to Whataburger Field. I've actually was lucky enough to throw the first pitch once at Whataburger Field, which is home of the Corpus Christi Hooks, because I was a quasi-celebrity.
Oh, good for you.
Or enough for like that Wednesday in a regular, middle of the year when they really had no one else to do it. Like, I think I've heard him on the radio for 5 seconds. Throw his goofy ass out there. I'll bring you the video one time. I actually threw a perfect strike because I am that dude. But, video time. A way of not cheating the Hooks, but, turnabout is fair play. This is technically a legal hidden ball trick and a damn good one. So this was against my Corpus Christi Hooks where I'm from, and this was an excellent hidden ball trick. Check this out. All right, play's over. Play's over. Oh, is it in? Look at that. Look at that. Let me wipe that bag off for you. And you're out. Turn down the volume a little bit so I can give you a play-by-play. Somehow he was able to put the ball in the, if anyone that's ever had a mitt, when you slide your fingers, whatever that little spot is in between your knuckles and your wrist, that little space that's usually in there for ventilation is my only guess. He was somehow able to kind of wedge the ball in there. And so, yeah, if you're the runner, you have no clue this ball's in his glove. I mean, they get mad about a lot of other cheating in baseball. I won't call this cheating, but I mean, it was, it was close. It was towing the line here. Watch it one more time. So, guy gets to first. Cool. Everyone's chilling. Look how easily, too, how smooth he did it. He just wedged it right there in the web of his glove. And this part was the lowest. Oh, let me do you a favor. Wipe the bag. You're out. That was such a... that wasn't cool, man. That wasn't cool. I loved everything about that play except for at the end when he's like, let me wipe the bag off for you. Oh, by the way, you're done. And I've embarrassed you. That was a little bit,
That's a huge bitch.
That was a little bit. The wiping the bag part of the move was not that great. Maybe you should have gone Izzy Alcantara. This is an old highlight, and I don't care because someone brought this to my attention via Instagram. And this is just, okay. So in baseball, as we were discussing baseball, that there's a lot of the unwritten rules, and apparently, 97 times there are 108 situations where you can, as a pitcher, take a very rock-like object in a baseball and hurl it at someone as hard as you can. And Izzy Alcantara, wherever he is and wherever he played, I don't really know, hell of a name. I saw this highlight. This will help the ratings. Do more of this. When someone, because, they are hurling a ball at you. They are hurling a rock basically at you at a very high velocity. And just do what this guy did. If you ever had enough of it, just go ballistic. This is great. Watch this.
This happened Tuesday night. AAA Pawtucket Red Sox slugger Izzy Alcantara.
Watch this.
Reliever Blaze Sedanis.
Throw at me. Word. Take that. Let me take out the pitcher. The manager wants some. I'll take shortstop on. I love that guy. That's fantastic. I mean, that's just going all the way. That's kind of what I want to see, Miami to continue to do here. Just get nasty and mean. Just get nasty and mean. Watch this one more time. This is fantastic. Oh, you want to throw at me? You don't like me? They call me Izzy, bitch. They call me Izzy. Baby super kick. Bang! You want some pitcher? Take one of these. Take these hands. Where's that shortstop at? I hate you too. Bang! I love that guy. Just go nuts. Just go completely just bananas. Oh, speaking of bananas, let me go ahead. Yeah, so that was fun. I'll move on. This is, talk about getting physical in basketball. This is some high school girls, I remember this, are just vicious. There's nothing more vicious than a high school female basketball team as far as down to fight, down to get dirty, down to straight up do things you're not supposed to talk about.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
Second rule of high school basketball is you do not videotape high school basketball if they are mad at each other and they are women. This girl, I don't know what school this is and I don't really care, but I got to respect the just pure level of psychoticness that she brought to this court. Look at this girl.
Hey!
1, 2, 3. Look at her face. She's not messing around.
Good D, help!
And I don't like you.
Come on now! Dude trying to kill me.
Boom.
Dude needs some glasses. I'm getting beat up and he ain't calling nothing.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you got to love it.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
I remember this. I remember we would play because as the varsity boys, you would usually have the girls play right before you, so you go out and support. And, man, in our games, we would talk. I got in a couple baby little fights, 1, 2, 3 punches, and that was it, called a day. Girls fight. I remember in middle school, boys' fights in the locker rooms, or in the hallways would be kind of basic. I saw in like 6th grade a girl take a lock and bang, bang, bang a girl in the head, something I never even saw a boy come close to doing because girls can get mean, man.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. Second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
And you definitely do not try to get in this girl's way. I got to see that first one again one more time. She took out like 5 people in one move.
Hey!
Bang! Someone said that to Jimmy Butler. Someone said that to Bam Adebayo. You guys did good about bringing the physicality, but you still didn't go pure bad boy. You got to do it a little bit more. Got to do it just a little bit more. What else do I have here that's good? Oh, this is fantastic. As I'm an old man, and it sucks, and I hate it. I need inspiration. I need people to show me I can still do things. Show me that it's not too late for this podcasting thing. It's not too late for my life. I could still be someone of worth. 92 years young. I'm even going to turn off the music. I'm just going to set the stage here. 92 years young. This man is coming from Japan, I believe, and oh my God, is an absolute inspiration. Running the 100-meter dash and could kick your ass. I believe he does this in 11 seconds, and I swear this looks CGI. Look at this little guy go. Look at this little guy, 92 years old, world championships. Gone. Done. Smoking him. Smoked him. Absolutely murdered him. 92 years young. The Usain Bolt of Japan, very old man racing. Don't ever think it's too late in life to do something. I got to watch that one more time. Look at this little guy go. Look at his little legs churn. Leave these forward 90-year-olds in the dust. Eat me, I'm gone. I mean, seriously, that was a smoke show. That was legit a smoke show. Suck his sashimi. That was just an ass-kicking. Guy was out of damn frame. He was doing so good there. Fantastic. Fantastic. Last couple here. I love animals. I love animals. I love animal videos. I think they're cute and they put me in a good mood. Last ones here. I saw this is a golf one, so this is still sports. Kiss my ass. I can do what I want. It's my show. You know what? I could play the damn replay of a zoo, finale if that's what I want to. This is my broadcast.
I do what I want.
But this is still sports related because this was on a golf course and a squirrel decided to buddy up with a foursome, and I just thought this was wholesome and cute, and I'm going to show it to you right now. Look at this. There's a little baby squirrel. What's up, buddy? Look at. Is that par 3? Got any walnuts up there? I see something up those shorts. 16 holes. Just hanging out. You guys need one more? You guys need one more? Can I borrow your clubs? Better off the tee than I am with the irons. Standing on his head.
Oh.
Some wild baby squirrel. Just enjoying life.
It's on my face.
It is on your face.
Come on, man.
And look, took it home, gave it some treatment. And now, some wildlife rehab. Doing great. Digging life. Oh. Tell me that wasn't cute. Don't tell me that didn't hit you in the wholesome button. It's adorable. Little baby squirrel. Sensed the right place to go. Next thing you know, he's in a wildlife shelter. He's doing great. Probably getting his rocks off. Collecting, getting them nuts. Busting out some nuts somewhere. Doing his thing. All thanks to those 4 golfers and that cute little video. So, yeah. I love animals. Ooh, the last one, because I told you this last time, and I'm a little disappointed. So if you listen to the last podcast, I had another little animal video because I like them, and I was going to say there was a chicken video I had to bring you because I've gone pescatarian. I know, leave me alone. Pescatarian means I only eat fish and vegetables, and there's a lot of reasons for it, but some of it was learning about the animal kingdom and kind of birds having more emotions than you think. So I was going to bring you this old video I used to see all the time of a fisherman who saved a chicken, and the chicken would run up and hug him. He'd come back once a year to see this chicken, and it was this very cute story, and I thought it was very cute. I don't have it. I couldn't find it. But I promised I'd bring you chicken. I said I'd bring chicken.
Give me some chicken. I want chicken. Give me some chicken.
All right, calm down. I still found this is how much birds do have this emotion. I'm telling you, it's not just hippie nonsense I'm making up here. These animals have more sentient understanding of life and gratitude than you think. So there's another one I found of some other chicken.
Give me some chicken. I want chicken.
Where this is the same story, though. A guy saved him, and he's now at some chicken sanctuary, and same stuff, different day, just runs up to him, couldn't be happier. Every time this chicken sees this guy, I mean, tell me that your cat or your hamster or all the other things that we have as pets not named a dog are anywhere as responsive as this chicken is to this guy when you walk through the door. As soon as he sees him, hauling ass. Because that's his buddy. Because that's his little buddy right there. And that's the man who saved him. Chickens have it like that. Chickens understand like that. See what I'm saying? Look at that. Hugging him. Couldn't be happier. I'm going to show you that one more time. Tell me your cat, when you call your cat, runs up to you like this. This is the thing that was next to dogs, the most domesticated thing we have in the country here, and that you eat chicken for fun. And I understand it. Chicken's delicious. I love me some chicken.
Give me some chicken. I want chicken. Give me some chicken.
But I am going to, be a jerk here and show you this. I mean, the fact is, there's obviously an understanding of friendship and emotion. Look at him run up. Look at him. Every day. Comes to see his chicken buddy. Just pops his ass right up there. Full trust. Gives him a big old hug. Be with his best buddy. It's a beautiful thing. Just saying. I know. It sucks. It sucks knowing ignorance is bliss. It's fun to be dumb. I get it. It's fun to not know things. But sometimes the truth out there and you just got to see it. That's why I bring it to you. That's why we always bring it to you. That's why I will tell you a lot of times before something happens, then it'll happen. Then I have to bring it back and remind you one more time just in case you don't know. I got to bring you the truth. And the truth is, I know what I'm doing, and I know a lot of NBA basketball. And it's just what it is. It's just what it is, and that's what this show is. Stay tuned next time. Don't be a chicken. I'm out of here. Deuces.